Hey everyone, so recently I've been speaking a lot in my reels and my videos about frequency, about energetics, about perception, about how to recalibrate yourself, to get yourself out of the limited frequencies that you're in so that you can soar, elevate, and get into higher types of frequencies. The higher the frequency, the more expanded you become, the more capacity you have to hold more light. And what is light? It's information. So I really dive into the energetics behind success, behind earning money, behind creating a business that is extraordinary, not ordinary. The beingness of who you are is vital. It is the most important part. It's where your personal power is in comparison to the physical aspect of you and what you're doing. Now, I know this goes against a lot of logic, a lot of the way the programming exists in the business world, in the online coaching world, or just in your life in general. Linear, logical, doing things in a certain order, waiting a certain amount of time, and maybe one day kind of attitude. But I don't roll that way. I have learned what really works for you to multiply your results, to catapult your whole entire life and business in a very short period of time. And here's the most important part of it: without working hard. We're programmed that working hard is something to, rise up to become someone who slaves away because that is righteous. And that's how you earn more money, which all of you know, the more hard you work, the less money you have. Not only with what you're doing, because there's only so many hours in a day, but the more money you make, the more they take off with taxes. So a little backstory I want to share with all of you. Maybe this will help give you a little more, relatability with me to understand that we're just humans here. We're spiritual beings, but we're human also. And we have these thoughts. So any of you who are thinking about starting a business, or you already have one, you may have thoughts of, you're getting downloads right now of us as we evolve into this new dimension, this new earth. The higher frequencies lead to higher levels of consciousness. So that means higher levels of thinking, okay? More intelligence, right? So you may have doubt when you hear the things that are coming through your mind, when you're getting those intuitive hits to go teach this or talk about this, you're probably like putting the brakes on and going, oh my God, like I can't teach that. Nobody's going to be ready for that. Everyone's going to think I'm crazy. So these are kind of the things you got to outgrow as you grow your business. It's part of who you are. It's a transformation that needs to be done. But I want to share with all of you that for the longest time, sometimes I held myself back from sharing information because everything that I am being called to teach lies in the invisible. I'm teaching about things you can't visibly see. You can only sense with your spiritual senses, your extrasensory perception, if you will. I'm teaching about things that you're conditioned to only look at, right? And see as reality, when those things are the things that are hindering you and keeping you stuck. So for a long time, it was very difficult for me to come out here and say, hey, I'm going to teach you about things you can't see. I want you to believe in the magic that you can't see. I want you to understand that if you follow this or that, it's going to work for you, but they're not logical, linear results. They're not strategies that you follow this 1, 2, 3 steps and it's going to give you this. I'm completely blowing that out of the water and saying, hold the fort. I don't want you to focus on just what you're doing. I want you to go within. I want you to start to experience who are you being, because this is the fundamental, this is the foundation of how you create an extraordinary life. But here's the thing, if you're going to teach something that hasn't been taught, it's been suppressed, it's not really popular in the mainstream, then you've got to understand that it's going to create resistance. It's going to give you some negative feedback possibly. But here's the other flip of the coin. If you're teaching something, if you're being taught, if you've figured things out, if you've hired coaches and had mentors that have taught you the secret to creating an unbelievable, extraordinary, successful life and business, you're going to learn something that 99% of the world doesn't know. So it's going to seem foreign, it's going to seem illogical, and it's going to give you feedback from 99% of the regular everyday humans because they don't know this. So this is part of the idea that excites me, is when you get new information that doesn't go along with the system, then you are on the right track. because you're getting information outside of the system, which anything outside of the system is going to give you the opposite of what the system gives you. So let's look at the system, for example. The system gives you limitation. The system gives you suppression. The system gives you lack, gives you fear, gives you scarcity. It literally creates a divine being, puts them in a box, and gives you a mediocre life. Now, I know a lot of you who are watching me, entrepreneurs I find are the ones with it in their heart, business owners, they will not settle for this life. They know there's more and they seek it out. So this is where the information that you're getting downloaded with, if you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, and it seems out there, trust it. To be able to create the level of success that you desire, for you to live an extraordinary life in all areas of your life, it is not going to match what you know and what you've learned in the system. Now, I've talked to you guys about frequency, and I've shared that energy is everywhere and everything. There's nothing that is not made from energy. And so when I talk about frequency, especially my last program I did, I really wanted people to understand the foundation behind the core of the frequency, because frequency is what attracts into your reality everything that you experience. So if you are in a frequency of lack or limitation, you have to understand no matter what you do, it doesn't matter how hard you work, it doesn't matter what strategies you apply. If you happen to get some kind of bigger result, it's not sustainable because you're pushing it. You're pushing it to make it happen, but it's not being allowed to happen. It's not in flow. So when you can create something that's in alignment and flow, it's effortless, right? You sustain it because you're a match for what it is that you desire. But when people are trying, which is what most entrepreneurs do because they don't understand the hidden factor behind your foundation of manifestation is your frequency. And because we're programmed unconsciously, most of us, in the frequency of lack and limitation and fear, and then you go out and you try to apply all the strategies, you can work your ass off and maybe get a higher result, but it will not stay effortless. It will be hard work. This is why humans burn themselves out and hustle, because you're going the wrong way. So if our environment, our system, our life, our perceptions, our beliefs, everything about our identity has been created in this system, it's coded for lack and limitation and fear and worry and mediocrity. It really is that. That is the code that you all have within your own cellular memory and in your own body, because you were exposed to it from the moment you opened your eyes. So you have become, if you will, a match for all of that. So this is why, if anyone's been curious, because this is what made me get into this, was I was wondering why 99% of the world lived without money, without freedom, without happiness, poor health, and 1% of the world had all the money. Now, I'm not talking about the occult, right? And, those generations of reptilians that took all the gold and money and all that. I'm talking about real people going from mediocrity or poverty into abundance. What did they know? How did they do it? And that is what set me on this trajectory in my life. But what I want you all to know is we are programmed for lack and limitation. And that is why no matter what you do, until you have this awareness, you attract limitation in your life. You only have a ceiling that you can reach in your business. Do you ever find that? Any of you entrepreneurs, any of you online coaches, you hit a certain mark, you hit a certain ceiling, and then you can't seem to get past it because that's where you're coded for. But are you capable of more? Absolutely you are. But you have to understand how to reset yourself to become a match for what it is that you desire. So we are coded and we have become a match during our early years of life to match a low frequency of vibration of lack and limitation. So you have got that down. Your beingness is coded for lack. So no matter what you do, and this is all we're taught in the physical world, is to do, work hard, burn out, try harder, and one day something will come to you. You have to understand there's something behind the doing. This is what I'm all about with my work. What's behind the doing? What's the foundation that is responsible for your success? It's who you're being. So what you need to do when you want to create a quantum leap in your business, you want to create an extraordinary jump in your love life, in your health, in anything, in any part of your business, any part of your life, you have to understand it starts from where you are programmed. Who are you being? So the doing is not important until you get the being down. So this is where I have a new program coming up that a lot of you heard me talk about called Calibrate. Calibrate is a 3-week program. It is my first time teaching this, and it's like an introduction. I already know the next session of Calibrate is going to be longer because I've got way more information to bring into it. But Calibrate is going to blow your mind. It's going to give you a formula. It's going to show you exactly how we move in the fabric of our reality and how our frequency is the foundation behind whether or not we create extraordinary success and we are able to receive the money that we desire instead of reject the money, reject what we want. So it's all about who you're being, because who you're being is going to give you what you are. So if you're a match for lack, even though you desire more, you can't get it until you change who you are. So the frequency is important. Who you are is important. The doing is last, absolutely last in my world. So Calibrate is a 3-week program, and we start this Thursday. And I'm going to show you in Calibrate how you become a match for abundance. Abundance is anything and everything that you're desiring, because every one of you have different desires. All of you want something different in your business. You want different incomes. You want different amount of clients. You want to be able to do more things. But abundance is the umbrella of all of it. You get on the vibration of abundance, then you can have everything you desire. But there's a formula. There's a process. And so you got to start at the beginning, the foundation. Who are you being? And this is what I teach, how you become a match for exactly what you desire. This is the most profound program I've ever done to date. I love everything I teach. I am so excited with what I've done, but this is bar none the most exciting one that I cannot wait to start on Thursday. I am just bursting at the seams because this is transformational when you understand. But what I want to share here is this is only for those people that truly want to create a massive leap in their life, and they're willing to let go of working hard and trying hard and doing all the things, and to learn how to become more feminine energy of receiving and letting go and just allowing. And this is where your success lies. So for those of you who are ready to dive into the inner world, the inner kingdom, the invisible realm where your most powerful part of you exists, and learn how to tap into your personal power to be able to navigate your reality and create it the way you desire, not by accident, not by getting into your zone of genius once in a while and finding that I'm in the zone, now I'm out. Navigate it with the proper formula and processes that take you into that zone and keep you there. Because you're here to become more than what you are. And staying in the system keeps you who you are. You don't change. So if you're ready to grow your business, if you're ready to understand yourself at the most deepest, intimate part of who you are, and understand that who you're being is more important than what you're doing in your business, then Calibrate is for you. So I'm going to leave the link below here in the comment section, or you can DM me. Right now, it's $444 on pre-sale, and it will be going up the moment we start on Thursday. So this Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern, we begin. Look forward to seeing you there. See you later.